wish the money changed me.
All right, me and Alex are here with Will from Chapo Trap House. If you want to look that show up, just go on Twitter and look for CH*PO*TR*P House.
Yeah.
They got a lot of good things going on. You'll find it if you just search for it like that. But
that's how you find all the secret, the forbidden content.
Yeah, that's what people like Will don't want you to see.
Yeah. The forbidden riffs.
What is it, like the 21st best podcast of the decade? What was the ranking?
I think we got number 14, I believe.
Ooh, not bad. E1 came in at number 1, I assume. I don't know what list you're talking about even, but speaking of E1, that's what we're here to talk about, actually. We wanted to kind of just dig into the E1 album the same way we've gone into a few other albums in the past. And I mean, like, if you guys want to ask me questions, I can answer any kind of questions about it. But otherwise, I can kind of just take a trip down memory lane on making this album and kind of revisit what we were thinking, I guess.
Well, this is a treat for me because the E1 album, the King Dynasty, Rich God Saga, The Money Crusades, was certainly my favorite album of the summer, if not the year. But like for sure. This has been in heavy rotation on my phone and in my earbuds.
The number 14 podcaster on Earth of the decade is saying this, and yet Pitchfork notably decided not to review it.
We know what we think of Pitchfork, but genuinely though, the E1 album, like I was thinking about this the other day, that like I really think like the songs you guys do on that album like fall into that category of like the closest thing is the Misbehavin' song from Righteous Gemstones, where it's like it's such a good perfect parody of like the thing it's trying to be that like it actually like surpasses that by becoming like a legitimately great song on its own, even though it's like making fun of something or it's like done as a joke, but it's done so well that it surpasses being satire into just being like a bop.
Yeah, that's one of those things to me where like if you want it to be funny, it also needs to be good. Because if it's not good, then it's also not as funny, you know? Like,
yeah, exactly.
The jokes will shine better if the song's actually something you want to hear.
I mean, I guess like my question for you, Charles, is like what was the genesis of the NBA Stupid Ass, that artist?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I remember it was like, I mean, you know, we had done like 20-ish episodes of E1, and we were just kind of like trying to think. This is when I lived with Branson and Joel, so it was all three of us like living together, and just like I knew from the beginning that I wanted to do like a Pitchfork episode of E1, and then we finally decided like, oh, we should do this like right now at some point. And we wanted to have two very different songs to like include in the episode and review. So we did the one that was like Seasonal Depression Candle, like the really twee acoustic guitar one. And then we're like, oh, we got to do like a rap that's kind of like a Migos song or something. So that was just like that whole Black Flanders came together in like one day, basically, where Felix had already done the episode where he mentioned Black Flanders, like the cop whose son was listening to Black Flanders on SoundCloud. So we were like, what if we just made that real? Because the idea is already so funny and he already brought it up in a previous episode. So it was like, just, you know, it was like one Saturday or something where Joel just made the beat in the morning. I wrote the lyrics in the afternoon and then we recorded it that night. And it was like, okay, cool. This is going on the next episode, you know?
And this is when
one of the greatest songs of all time.
And this is when you guys are all living together. I mean, like maybe the fans don't know this, but you guys shared an apartment in Wrigley Field, the famous Wrigley Field in Chicago, right?
Yeah, just out there on the field, actually.
yeah. No, they let you stay under the tarp when the games weren't being played. But like, yeah, that's some Chicago lore, though.
Yeah, we would actually just crawl into a thing underneath the pitcher's mound and live down there when the game was going on. It was like a Bugs Bunny situation where we dig up out of the dirt and we're eating a carrot, just like, yeah.
But like you mentioned, you're going for sort of a Migos sound, and like that's certainly there with the sort of, I don't know, what do you call it? Like the sort of like the B tracks where they repeat things, but just by yelling. Like
the
Migos,
ad-libs, like, just the ad-libs of just yelling the same stuff, and everything's like really triplety, like Migos, like da 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 da.
Yeah, they do like the triplet rhyming scheme, and then the ad-libs where like Quavo will say something like, you know, like that's what my mama told me. And then in the background, you just hear "Mama."
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the best Migos ones too. Mama,
Mama.
But another thing to say about that song is I'm very proud of the hook. Like that's like a Simpsons reference that came together perfectly. Of I'm not black, but I feel like Black Flanders. I got the clip like Ann Landers. It's that episode of The Simpsons where Flanders has like the one drink, and Maude clips Ann Landers for him. And he's like, Ann Landers is an old biddy. So he's got the clip like Ann Landers, like that Simpsons episode, but also I got the clip because I got a gun.
Black, but I feel like Black Flanders. I got the clip like Ann Landers. Black Flanders, Black Flanders, Black Flanders. I feel like.
See, I never put that together. Where Flanders says, Ann Landers is a boring old biddy, and then she's like, I was more monster than man. I just thought it was referring to Ann Landers, like with that scrap,
At first, I thought it was clit. And I wasn't sure if she was well known for her
having a clit.
She had a fucking
a big one.
She had a fucking gumball down there.
She would write about it constantly in her columns.
Yeah, she wasn't boring. Actually,
Ann Landers was actually the first American to acknowledge the existence of the clitoris. It was a huge, it was a huge scandal at the time.
So yeah, I think that's like the one that really. Like that song was so well received when we put it out that really set us on the track of doing songs routinely for E1.
And like, were there any other like artists or like the NBA stupid ass like persona that you were going after or like inspired by?
I would say that first one was purely just thinking about Migos, and then every time since there's like sometimes we're putting another specific artist in there, and sometimes it's just kind of generic, I guess.
I mean, I just think it's like the Migos thing, and like that when I've played the song for people, like that's the one that's the thing that they sort of like hitch on to. But I mean, I just think like the NBA stupid ass character is just I think of him as just sort of like an amalgamation of like dozens of like teenage SoundCloud kids with like pink hair and face tattoos who like just drink cough medicine, who like just drink cough medicine all day and like has somehow have like 80 million listens or something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely the idea within like E1 lore and the episodes to just amalgamate all that into like one character.
There's definitely a lot of Lil Xan in there.
I don't think we've actually used this joke yet, but I wanted to put it into a song that like he's got a like designer brand of fentanyl named after him. Just stuff like that. Like there's just an unlimited amount of stuff you can do with that.
So
getting your name printed on the pills.
Yeah.
Oh man, imagine like pills, but like that are stamped with like a Black Flanders, like a Simpsons face.
It's actually him. Yeah.
Yeah. So Black Flanders, that was the first big single, but like I believe you followed that up with French Stewart, which I think is like
definitely
an even more accomplished track.
I think that's still my favorite one in terms of just actually being like catchy and fun to listen to. Like that's probably my favorite one on the album.
Yeah, no, it's up there for me. I mean, I have my favorites. French Stewart is getting close there, but I'm gonna put on my pitchfork hat and just say like the sonic architecture of French Stewart has like psychedelic sort of like clairvoyance and energy.
Expensive sweater, man, it's made out of sheep. If I don't smoke K2 at night, I can't sleep. Gucci gym shorts.
Yeah, let me say. So here's the story behind French Stewart: is that this dude who was like a fan of E1 just reached out to us, saying like he could make us beats, and I listened to them and I was like, oh, they're actually really good. Like I'll definitely like sure you can do it, dude. So he's like a guy whose name's Bobby. His name on SoundCloud is Placement without the vowels if you look him up. But when I talked to him about this one, I was like, I want to do something that's fun and something that's kind of like Broccoli with Dram and Lil Yachty. So he gave me a couple of beats that were like sort of these more playful, like upbeat things. One of the ones we didn't use, he just sampled the Rugrats theme song. And I was like, that's fucking hilarious, dude, but it's like too on the nose. We need something like more, like, I don't know. I don't want to have any like sample in it or anything.
Rocco's Modern Life.
Yeah.
Something deeper.
Yeah, deeper cuts, dude.
But like, in the chorus of that where it's like, it's just about smoking weed, so like any song about that, like I that's basically what I look for in music is just references to getting high. But like another thing that you do that like I really like about contemporary rap music is where they just like when you say I'm smoking Ninja Turtles straight out the sewer. I like with like just like broccoli or anything where it's just any word that you can substitute in for weed, and like everyone has their own thing. If it's
green,
yeah. If it's green,
sewer,
or something.
the Ninja Turtles are good because the sewer smells and weed smells.
Yeah,
and the turtles are green and it's green, so it's like, dude, holy shit.
But also, like the Ninja Turtles, like are honestly probably got a generation of kids hooked on drugs by just like portraying the stoner lifestyle in such a attractive way. Yeah, living with a rat, fucking just hanging with your boys all the time. Like, yeah,
that's true, man. The other good story about that. I mean, I feel like a lot of E1 people probably know this, but French Stewart listened to it and quote tweeted it saying that he loved it. So that was like some of the greatest prestige we've gotten for one of these songs.
And that's great.
Yeah,
because
that was incredible.
That's, French Stewart has the famous like squinty eyes, like he just,
exactly. Because the Kush got me looking like French Stewart.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a French Stewart approved message now.
Who else do you need an endorsement from? Regis Philbin?
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
Morrissey?
Yeah, that's true. I wish we could get Keats and Gym Class on Morrissey's radar. Maybe we should just change pace and talk about that one briefly. We're leaving like the rap paradigm here, but Keats and Gym Class is the Smiths parody. It's one I wanted to do just because I feel like I could easily parody Morrissey's voice, and I already play guitar like Johnny Marr does, so that's like the two important parts of the Smiths I could already parody easily. So I was like, let's just do one.
I mean, I would say
Branson,
Keats and Gym Class. Like I'm not like a huge Smiths or Moz fan. I mean, I like some of their songs, but I mean, I would go out on a limb here and say that this is as good or better than most of their output.
Yeah, I think guitar wise, I feel good about it. Where I'm like, yeah, that sounds like Johnny Marr right there. And then vocally, it was the lyrics were written by Branson. And originally there was just like tons and tons of, he wrote twice as many lyrics as we actually put in the song, but it's already like almost 4 minutes. And we're like, we're not making this like a fucking 8-minute song. So I cut tons of them.
So in all the times I've listened to Keats and Gym Class, I haven't actually been able to, it's a little bit more inscrutable than NBA Stupid Us. So like I've had a hard time teasing out, the lyrics or the story there. I mean, it seems to involve being abused in gym class by the teachers. And older boys.
I'd say it's basically just imagining like, what if Morrissey was trying to portray his own childhood of being a loser who gets picked on through the lens of like Keats? Because Morrissey loved doing that, where his lyrics reference like Keats and Yeats and all these like British authors. And like the idea of him just talking about being a child, just like being a little wiener that no one liked and trying to like mythologize it,
Yeah, him being scared, like alone, and being like, I'm feeling like M.R. James.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, this is such a quintessentially British experience.
Yeah.
At boarding school here with the lads. Did Morrissey go to boarding school, or was he just a regular school kid? I have no idea. It just seems like in theory he would.
I think every school there is a boarding school.
Yeah.
And it's also everything from preschool to PhD is called college.
Yeah.
And
kindergarten is called college there.
And public
secondary
school
college
and public schools in England are the ones that are like the super elite. Like that's like private school in America. What gives with that? Like if you're in England and you say I went to public school,
English? They invented it.
Like in England, if you say I went to public school, that's like saying that you're like the poshest lad imaginable.
That's it's ideal.
Yeah,
we're striving toward it. Let's see what else. Maybe I'm trying to look at the track list.
Well, I was gonna say my personally my favorite NBA Stupid Ass song is "I Wish the Money Changed Me," because like that to me has a melancholy to it that I really love, and just the essential message of where rappers are always like, this money's never going to change me. I'm still going to be the same person, but just someone who hates who they are and has gotten rich, and they're like, fuck, I wish I was a different person. But the line that really killed me in that one when I first heard it was still writing fan letters to August Ames. It's like
Yeah.
this sense of sadness in the song where it's like you're still the same person, still rich, sad, and sleepy, but you're still writing fan letters to a dead porn star. It's
That's
just
how that's like an example of how he never changes. You know, he knows he should stop, but he can't.
And birthday party at Hooters wasn't the same. My favorite waitress had class that day. Actually, Charles, let me ask you this: could you talk a bit about how Hooters, the establishment, figures in the E1 canon? Because it does come up quite a bit.
I don't know. I don't think there's anything to even explain about it. It's just, it's just worth.
It's an
talking
inherently
about.
very funny restaurant.
Yeah, it is. And it's like having your birthday party there is awesome, and having a favorite waitress is especially funny.
There's a
And the
convergence
fact that she
there.
had class that day is like, how old is she? You start to get a little nervous, like,
She's in college. British meaning.
Yeah, she's
So that
in
could be-
British college.
British college. She's 5.
Yeah.
I like
actually,
the reference to Andy Richter.
props to Dan. Dan deserves props for that one too, because I feel like it's the stupidest thing that we've ever made him do. As someone who actually has like credibility in a cool band, I'm glad that he was willing to sing about birthday party at Hooters and stuff for the hook. So
Yeah, that rules. I don't think I'd ever been to Hooters until I visited Branson and Alana in Atlantic City.
yeah, that's the perfect place to go.
And I've since been back and gone to the same Hooters in the Harrah's Casino. Not Harrah's. That's the nice one. The Trop, which is lovingly referred to by locals as the Slop.
Did you get any Hooterade while you were there?
No. We just got like pitchers of beer or whatever. What's the Hooterade? Is that like some alcoholic punch or whatever?
Yeah, it's like their house. I don't know, their house mixed drink or something. I don't. We need Aaron to explain it because I'm pretty sure that Aaron actually got that while he was there with Branson. But
There's
I
a
don't have
weird
the full
convergence
story.
with Mikey Miles and how often Hooters comes up.
Is he a frequent patron of that establishment?
Yeah, it's the only restaurant he goes to. He walks like 2
That's
hours.
amazing.
Because like
To go there.
I know where Mikey Miles lives. He lives in like Washington Heights. He lives in like way like Upper Manhattan. And like are there Hooters in New York City? Like is there one in Midtown? Maybe.
There's one in
I
Midtown.
don't
Okay,
know. Oh, is
so
there?
yeah.
Okay, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So he walks from probably I would guess like about 180th Street to Times Square. To see his favorite angels or like the women he's stalking probably.
To take photos of them where he's doing the hover hands thing.
Yeah.
I can't
let me-
believe that restaurant's still open. Weren't there articles about like millennials killing it or whatever?
Yeah, but I think it's gotta be like boomers who go on vacation to New York City and they don't know what to do, so they go to Hooters and like Bubba Gump Shrimp Co. and shit.
It's something about Hooters. Like, if you're on vacation with your do people take their families to Hooters? Like, is
That's a
that
good question.
deeply embarrassing? Like,
I don't know.
because it's like like the whole thing about it is that it's just like almost a strip club, kind of.
Yeah. It's a family friendly strip club.
yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
It's
So
like
they
it's
will
like,
let anyone of any age in there.
Yeah,
I went
it's
to
like-
one when I was a kid. When my dad's friend who was rich took us to a basketball game, and we went to Hooters. Just me and that guy and my dad.
no, like
Just the guys.
that would have been mortifying to me at that age to be at a Hooters with my dad. That's like, oh man, that's yeah.
So here's
Yeah,
what I
you-
take away.
you hate
Alex,
to think about
Alex,
it.
me like my takeaway of you and your parents from this show so far is that you went to Hooters with your dad and you went to Spencer's Gifts with your mom at the mall. And that's all I know about your parents.
No, they're both very normal. They're much less weird than that would imply.
Well, I guess like the other the real banger, like probably like the breakout, my opinion, song of the summer is Spring Break Summer. That's the NBA Stupid Ass and then Bryden Brantley collaboration. And this is
yeah,
like the
for
new
sure.
like the rap country hybrid, very hot right now. Like Lil Nas X and Bronco Brown, or like there's a couple of these artists now that are doing sort of like yeehaw like rap music.
It's funny that we did this right before Lil Nas X. Like
He
that was like
stole
a
it.
good timing kind of thing. Yeah, he stole it from us. We should sue the shit out of him. But The one
He was
like
the first person to take it from, like, to come at it from the rap perspective.
that's
like,
exactly
to get
right.
country
yeah.
into rap in a way that's not like. There have been like black artists that do that where they're like, I'm the country rapper, but it's like they're so uncool.
It's always the opposite. And it's also, so the guy, like in the same way that Black Flanders was just trying to think about Migos, this song was pretty much exclusively thinking about Florida Georgia Line. And that's what they do is it's just these like country guys, but they always have like half their fucking songs have a lyric like, hey, we listen to T-Pain also. We listen to Drake, but we also listen to George Strait, you know?
See, I know I'm not familiar at all with Florida Georgia Line, and I'm assuming like the band name refers to like the state line between Georgia and Florida.
Yeah, so it's two guys and one of them is from Georgia and one of them's from Florida. So you can imagine how they thought of their
I was
names.
gonna say
Country
like
guys are so bad at that. Like Montgomery Gentry is that's just two guys' last names, but it sounds like the most racist thing of all time.
Exactly right.
It's like calling your band slave owners.
I was just gonna say though, I mean, East Coast elite here, but I was gonna say the Florida Georgia state line may be the shittiest part of America. I don't know. Just gonna throw it out there.
But the rich musical tradition coming out of there inspired this song of, I was listening to other songs and it's funny to me, like just from a songwriting perspective, every single Florida Georgia Line song I was looking at, they just choose 4 really simple chords and repeat it the entire way. All they change is just like the vocal part and the arrangement, but it's literally the same chords forever. So that's what we did on this one, where it's kind of just a loop, but then we built around that to make like hook the hook.
Never gonna make me sad. Girl, you're like a beer, I wanna drink you right up. Pop your top off while I'm driving my truck. Drank 30 Bud Lights before I got behind the wheel. But girl, I'm only swerving cause the way you make me feel.
No, there's like there's a couple like small verses in it, but it's mainly just the chorus, which is again when I first I think it was like Branson or Alana played me that track before you guys. I got a little like exclusive listening, and the chorus honestly like made me laugh so hard I thought I was gonna have a heart attack. And with the about drinking and driving and shit. And the other thing I love about Spring Break Summer is that it's such a genuinely like upbeat party song that it's a bop, but like the lyrics are super depressing.
Yeah, I think the highest honor that anyone gave this song was that the first time Nick heard it, Juchi Man on Twitter, he listened to it on YouTube. And when the whistling came in at the beginning, he was like, I thought it was an ad. It was so annoying. And I was like, thank you. That is exactly what I wanted.
So, I mentioned my experiences playing these songs for, people who aren't familiar with episode 1 or NBA Stupid Ass. And I played Spring Break Summer for Catherine's younger brother, who I guess was like, he's like 17, 18 years old. He's like 6'5", varsity athlete. Like he's the kind of kid that would bully you if you were in high school with him. And he basically exclusively
pick
listened
on Morrissey.
Yeah, he would be beating up Morrissey in gym class, and like he exclusively listens to like Chief Keef and like hard like rap music, like scary shit, and like he's way more into the streets than I am. Like he was putting me onto stuff that I like never heard of, and like Zac Brown Band. So we were driving in the car when I was visiting her back home in Wisconsin, and I put on that Spring Break Summer, and he was feeling it. Like he was. Nice. I think I played French Stewart first, and he was like, I don't think he was really feeling it. He didn't quite get it. He was like, what is this, just like Migos or something? But Spring Break Summer, he was like, I think he would put that on at a party,
Oh man, yeah, there we go.
It's like that's
the
what
most
I mean.
important cosign. Yeah,
it's got the convergence. Like it's like the streets and the gym classes know about NBA Stupid Ass.
Yeah, I think that one was fun. We're definitely gonna have to do another like Bryden Brantley pop country banger in the future.
I would love another Bryden Brantley anthem. But just to move on quickly from NBA Stupid Ass to the other rap song in the album that is not NBA Stupid Ass that I think is maybe the worst thing ever created by any human being, like up there with like the atom bomb, Lyrical Cookout by the Lexicontrarians. This is Like I love listening to the NBA stupid ass songs, but like I have to like test myself to see how much of Lyrical Cookout I can take.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, it's
furious,
not as
like,
pleasant.
mixing that one. Like I had to listen to Felix's part a bunch of times in a row when I was mixing it, and I was fucking mad. You know, like I was just like, I fucking hate this guy. Like, what the? Why did he do this to us? You know?
Yeah, no, Felix. I know. He specifically set out to create a verse that was like just cursed, like the worst thing ever created. And honestly, again, it's another triumph because it achieves that perfectly. And it is that that genre of rap music that's like that like indie like backpack rap music that existed in like the late 90s, early aughts. That's like probably the most embarrassing phase of music I was ever like into, was that like, you know, conscious lyrical rap music horseshit.
Yeah.
And it's
I
just
think
like
too. There's another Felix connection in the fact that a lot of that came out of like Minneapolis of all places, where it's just like all these white guy backpack
yeah, like
rappers
Atmosphere and shit like that, or like
I
Sage,
think that's one reason why,
Francis,
like,
and yeah,
Felix was made to like make fun of that
Right
shit.
to work makes me a labor tyrant with amazing timing. Streaming and crying with Ninja and Cypher. But no N words because the TOS is frightening. So let's freeze it and revive it before my meat tenderizes. Because if the fleece is surprising, I can't imagine a
Where was
fur coat
Cunning
enticing.
Linguist from?
So let's survive with the livest.
I don't know.
Jeff, but
I
got
wouldn't be
my throat
surprised if it
spiked
was
'cause
there,
it's
but-
frosting
wasn't one
I
of the
remember beefing with one of those guys.
yeah,
on
no,
Twitter.
the cunning linguist guy. No, he got into some real shit on, or he was just arguing with people on Twitter, and then people found his lyrics, and it was like one of his lyrics was literally he said, "I'm the talcum Malcolm," like he's literally saying, "I'm the white Malcolm X."
Hell yes.
And like, you know, like, oh God, who was he beefing with on Twitter? Was it you, Alex? Or just people were making.
I forget who it was, but I remember just replying to him like, the name of your band is Cunning Linguist.
It's just,
like,
oh,
like, you don't get to make fun of anyone. You don't get to retort when you have that band name. It doesn't even make sense because it's like they thought linguists means someone who writes things, like a poet, and not someone
Yeah,
who studies.
rather
like,
than
studies,
conjugations.
yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah,
It's like
I never.
self-refuting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never.
It's not very
They don't know what the word means.
it's fucking nonsense. No, but like
It's so dumb.
And I remember when that happened. Again, I forget what the genesis of this was, but I remember like listening to some Cunning Linguist art tracks, and I remember I never listened to them. That would have been way too embarrassing. But like I remember being aware of them when I was in that like backpack rap phase, and the fact that they're still around is incredible. But I listened to a couple of their songs, and they are dog shit. It's just like there was this period in rap music where like it was like a reaction against like the South really blowing up, and like guys like Juvenile and like Master P like really becoming like a dominant force in rap music. And there was these just like rap nerds who were just like, like this isn't lyrical at all. So they tried to like swing in completely the opposite direction of just vomiting up like the worst, like just like the more syllables you can throw in and just big words, and like I have all these like my metaphors and complex rhyming schemes, and like it's all just so bad.
So fucking dumb, dude. Like, it's funny. Yeah, you're totally right that like they thought they were doing like, well, it's correct. Like, okay, Juvenile's music obviously is stupid. I mean, his name's Juvenile. Of course, it's like dumb content, but it's fun. Then they thought like, oh, we're gonna make really smart music. But smart music doesn't mean just using huge words. Like, music always
It's
needs to
dumb,
be
guys.
conversational.
That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They're too dumb to know what's smart. Like, smart music is using conversational language, but in an interesting way.
Or like if you think of Juvenile, like, you know, like one of his like first big tracks that broke out was like Ha, where like every line in the song is he just goes nah at the end of it. So it's like it's like not even really rhyming, but the song is actually brilliant because it's like it's not about like, you know, how complicated what you're saying is. It's like how you're saying it and how original it is, and like
yeah, exactly.
You know, like he
that's what
he
most
had a
popular
sound
music
that was
is in general.
He had a sound that was like totally different and unique, and like the whole New Orleans thing, like, and yeah, so like they had like the pendulum swinging the other direction, and the Lexicontrarian thing is just produced so much bad music, again, mostly by like really try hard white kids.
Yeah, so like a little story behind recording that song is like, we knew we were gonna do that song already, and we had started writing those verses, but then when we were in New York for the first like E1 New York show, I guess like last December. We already had the beat, and Felix came over and was hanging out with us, and we were just watching a bunch of like Tom McDonald and really terrible shit on YouTube. And it was just like working us all into a frenzy, and we were just like so mad about it that like we had Felix just spit his verse right there. Because we were like, it's going to be easier to get him on the track now anyway while we're in New York, right? So we just had him do like a one take of his verse, and that was really like the start of doing that song.
Damn, Felix is like, he's like Jay-Z. You know, he just gets in the studio, he gets and goes, one take every time.
Yep, one take, and then he said he immediately deleted the lyrics off of every place. Like he just like was so embarrassed of having that on his phone if anyone could somehow find it that the lyrics are completely gone now.
And like the other thing the Lexicontrarians track gets exactly right is the intensely nasal voices of all that genre.
Oh God, yeah.
And you
exactly.
know, Felix is truly cursed, but underrated verse on that track is Andrew's verse.
Ooh,
like,
agreed, dude. I was gonna bring that up if you didn't.
Where it's just like it has that whole like, you know, my dad told me I'd be a shy guy, but like, you know, like what was it? Like
the single best line is, "See, I wasn't a bad kid. I just didn't want to do the things my dad did."
Yeah, that's that kind of Eminem
so
shit.
Fucking
but like,
dumb. Yeah, it just makes me so mad.
Eminem gave so many guys permission to rap.
Yeah.
He just opened the door for so many people, and none of them were good.
Let me see. Jump into other songs here. At least one more story I want to include is that for the last song on the album with a super long title, like the instrumental post-rock song, the idea of that one was to like kind of start building a real song and then just shit all over it, which I think turned out really good. Like it kind of had to be the last song on there because it's like it's harder to do instrumental comedy than it is to do lyrical comedy, which is why it's worth doing because it's different, you know?
Yeah, it is hard to do comedy without words.
Yeah, but I like that song because we had Branson come into like an actual studio and play piano. Obviously, he's never touched an instrument in his life. So the first half of the song is just Branson playing piano over an almost real song and just completely ruining it. And then the second half, we got everyone from Wolf Parade to just play terrible parts over it. And I know Dan said that like when they were recording that, it was when they were at a studio like working on pre-production stuff for their new album that's going to come out in January. And their manager had actually stopped by that day just to like see what they were up to. And their manager like showed up and they're all just like playing off key and doing all this really terrible shit for the E1 song. And he's like, "Oh, what are you guys recording?" They're like, "Oh, nothing." They just like didn't explain to him what it was.
It rocks.
So I love that story of, that guy's probably just very worried about the direction they're taking.
Oh, what's the song you guys did? I don't know if it made the cut to the album, but the Branson's parody of like Folsom Prison Blues.
Oh, that one is on the album actually. It's,
right. Alcatraz Bikini Summer. Okay,
Summer.
Alcatraz
Yeah, I really
Bikini
like that
Summer
one too.
Yeah, that to me is the most Branson influenced song on the album.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely into Johnny Cash. And that was a good one to have Branson sing too. Like I like how that turned out.
But what about the Brooklyn Eventualies? Is that just like a kind of, I mean, the name kind of says it all. Is this just like the catch-all for just sort of twee indie rock of any variety?
Yeah, exactly. In the same way that Bryden Brantley is going to continue to be like the pop country catch-all, the Brooklyn Eventualies are going to be the catch-all for any kind of like indie rock or, you know, whatever. I'm definitely, I guarantee that all the artists who appear on here will probably be something we use again, you know?
Even the Lexicontrarian.
Actually, I don't know about that one. It's hard to do another one in that vein.
You want to
Maybe those guys
revisit
are
that?
dead. Yeah.
No.
Sure.
No, you should like, and then that was another feature of that terrible era of rap music is like posse cuts with like 8 people on it who all suck ass.
Exactly. Yeah. There's like
they're
no
just like,
hook,
you know,
like nothing
yeah, like
good to
just
hang on
just
to.
featuring like just like a fucking just phalanx of different awful verses. We're like, oh, it's
Actually,
just
we forgot in the episode with that song. I don't think we even mentioned we actually each had an individual rapper names, and they're all like Wisdom, Miraculous. I can't even remember. Oh, Caustic Truth is one of them. Just all these really fucking terrible names, dude.
Oh man,
Remember Nerdcore?
Oh man,
Remember that like brief like 2-year period where there were Nerdcore rappers?
What are like some of the biggest?
And it was like
examples of them?
semi-accepted. There was I think MC Chris was the big one.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I just remember him being associated with like Adult Swim, basically.
God, just like
And then there were guys whose names were like just more outright Nintendo shit.
Power Glove.
They would just like shit like that.
God.
I don't know what
man.
happened to those guys.
Oh man, this is causing like this rap music. It's like it's causing me a sort of like a Proustian reverie here. And I remember back to the fact that God, this is so embarrassing. I saw, he was on the bill. I wasn't going. It must be clear I wasn't going to see him specifically, but I did see Immortal Technique in concert on the on the night that America started bombing Iraq in 2003.
That's a hell of a story, dude.
And he addressed it on stage, and he was just like, "Yo, like these leaders, fuck them. They're not our leaders. We're gonna get through this shit."
God. Immortal Technique's another good example of a guy who like thinks he's much smarter than he is. Wouldn't this shit be fucking crazy, dude? Like all his songs are about like, this should be crazy if it was this way, man. And just like conspiratorial shit.
Yeah, like he's always like he just started smoking weed and thought about society, like for his whole life. But he did beat up Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I was gonna say
I
I give him a pass pretty much
that's
for
really
that.
good. You're
Like
right.
I just think like I still have respect for him, and for posting Dorner on the timeline yesterday.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was like pretty nutty for, like, to do that. Like it's not like he has any right wing fans or whatever. Well, actually, maybe I can imagine a lot of like libertarian guys listening to him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see that. Will, I think your story about that Immortal Technique show also highlights to me in general how like everyone feels like the world's gotten a lot stupider, but I think the world was always really stupid. It's just more evident now. Like you can see it more clearly online.
yeah.
But everything was always stupid, right? And seeing Immortal Technique on the night that the bombing of Iraq began is an example of just how just the world's just dumb, right? Like everything just like fits together in this meaningless, stupid way, and everything's dumb. Like that's just how it always was.
Yeah, no, I guess like it's like the stupidity of like an earlier era was just more kind of like siloed in it was sort of like more compartmentalized, whereas now thanks to the social media and the internet, it's just like it's all one big toilet that we're all sitting in.
Yeah, that's definitely how I see it.
Yeah, most people didn't find out about the dumbest shit going on because it wasn't on the news.
Yeah, exactly.
But now we know about every stupid thing that goes on in the world, and it's shoved in our face over and over.
Well, as long as we're talking about shit that's going on in the world, should we talk about the political track on the record?
Yeah, I think that's the way to go here. Politics in America.
I mean, we're going back to NBA Stupid Ass, but like, I like that, NBA Stupid Ass, like, has, maybe dipped his toe into like, talking about issues, not just talking about like doing painkillers and feeling sad. Like there's a lot of reasons to feel sad in the world other than, having too much money and drugs.
Yeah, exactly. I think this one was made right around the time that like Kanye put out that single that was really absolutely horrible. He did the one with T.I. that was terrible, but it was also just in general, it was like when Kanye was into his like pro-Trump phase. And that was like the thing that kind of made me want to do it. But then I think that Childish Gambino put out his political song like around the same time too.
Oh yeah, This
And
Is
that kind of
America.
just, like, dovetailed.
Another really shitty song, by the way.
Yeah, everyone like wanted to believe that it was really profound just by virtue of it wanting to be profound, I guess.
It's like if
No
you,
one's mentioned that in forever.
well, I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
it
It's
just
pretty forgettable.
I mean, just naming a song like what is it? This Is America. Like, I mean, come on.
That was exactly why I thought like Politics in America is a good song title. It's just
Yeah,
like, damn,
yeah.
dude, that's crazy.
yeah.
I sometimes forget about this one because it's not like as much of a banger as the other ones, but I think there's some definitely good jokes in it. And just the main hook, the idea of being in a DM with Trump is like so funny.
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. I love that.
I'm in a DM with Trump. I'm in a DM with Trump. Trump. I'm in a DM with Trump. I'm in a group DM with President Donald Trump. Trump
Like just that being a status symbol, and also just kind of like imagining how inane a DM with Trump would actually be.
Like
I wonder, do you think he's ever in the DMs? Like,
I
he
was
might
just thinking,
not be because I don't know.
like it's funny to think because like, I mean, he just tweets out whatever he's thinking, but I would like it if like the ultimate kind of like MAGA status symbol would be like, if you knew like Trump's like secret, like locked alt account where he like just does the real gems, like his true
It's all, like,
uncensored
sycophants.
thoughts. Yeah.
All the sycophants are like Ben Shapiro's trying to get a follow back from the alt
Yeah,
account.
yeah. No, that'd be great. Like, yeah, like Shapiro and all those clowns are like are thirsty to get into like the ultra elite Trump DM, but it's all just like guys like Bo Dietl and like Bill Mitchell, like his sort of like, like tri-state area shithead type figures.
Those are the
who all
original
like,
shithead
yeah,
guys,
exactly.
yeah.
The day ones.
Practically apolitical, just so like stupid and
just
arrogant
stupid and mean and arrogant. Yeah. Just like,
those are the real good guys.
Just like ignorant about everything, but like their default political setting is like, America, baby. If you fuck with us, we'll fucking kill you. Number one.
If Trump had friends, those are the guys who would be his real friends, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I would love to see like a Soprano style show about him and all his friends, and he's the smartest one.
That is pretty good. Yeah, guys like Bo Dietl, you could definitely make that work.
The Bo Dietl, that guy Wayne Allen Root, just these like D tier like talk radio grifters who have been on like who've been fucking with Trump like since The Apprentice,
Yeah, totally.
And now like all these crabs like Ben Shapiro and fucking Dave Rubin and all these people are just trying to like fucking they need to they're trying to get on his dick and he's just like, nah, fuck off. You're not getting in the DM.
Yeah, those people want to believe that Trump is more ideological than he is. At his core, he's just completely devoid of any compass that lines up to any ideology, really, That's why guys like Bo Dietl are the perfect people for him, because it's just random grifters and shit. Like, I mean, those guys are like pro-cop, whatever,
yeah,
but they don't really have any kind of ideology or like
They're attracted to
center.
like big, dumb authority figures.
Yeah,
like
totally.
Genetically.
But there's really nothing there. Like, you could convince all of those type of guys to have like universal health care, right? Like, if you just frame it the right way, they're for it. They don't really have any kind of like thoughts on government one way or another or any of that kind of shit.
No, not at all.